Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes podcast. I'm Bert Lepore. He's Samuel Monte Carlo. We're hanging here with Angry Mike D, and we talk about music, movies, and so much more.
All right, we're back with another episode, Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes, episode 56. We're still on, Bert's favorite number. We're still on in October, so we're still with the Halloween theme, and we're going with all-time favorite cult classic, Kiss Meets the Phantom in the Park. We're going to talk about that for a little bit and a few other topics.
Yeah, you know what's weird, Dame, is it must have been some kind of anniversary for it, because everybody's posting shit about it. I just noticed it.
Yeah. Ahmed sent me a text today. So yeah, it's the 43rd, I guess it would be.
Yeah.
I'm like all of a sudden, I knew we were doing it this week, but all of a sudden I'm like,
yeah,
where the hell is this all coming from? Now I'm like, everybody's posting stuff with it. I'm like, okay. I thought we were ahead of the game. We're behind a couple of days.
I wonder what day that was. Like,
it was a Saturday.
It was a Saturday night. Okay, so that was a pretty
crazy.
Big deal. For some reason, I always thought it would be like the Sunday night kind of.
It was the Saturday night movie.
So yeah, it was pretty big.
Ahmed,
What's up?
Did you watch it when it first came out?
I did. I remember that perfectly. I was at my grandma's house back in the day, trying to stay up just to watch it, and it only came on like 8:00. So, and I was 4 then. So,
yeah. Dude, wow. Same thing with me. I remember watching it on TV when I was a kid.
But the thing is,
crazy.
Now I only remember like blurs. I don't really remember watching the whole thing from start to finish because they only showed it that one time, and they didn't show it again until sometime in the early 80s.
Yeah.
I remember like waiting for it to come on, and it never came on. It was just like that one time. Yeah. And my only real memories of it are these red and green images, which I now figured out were the kung fu scenes in that movie.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I remember watching when I was young, and then I worked at Strawberries Records, and it's when they were starting to pump out like a lot of VHS music kind of tapes and stuff like that. And I remember working there when Kiss Meets the Phantom, they released it out on VHS. And it's funny because I remember getting it. Yeah, exactly. And the first thing I thought was like, I don't understand the cover. It's just Gene and Peter. It's weird.
I didn't like that either. I thought that was kind of crazy. I'm just like, you could. I thought they would have made it look like the magazine like this.
Right. It looks like a bootleg. It looks like one of us made it and just made the box. You know, it's crazy. Damo, what was the first?
Let me see that box again.
Wait, you want to see the box? Yeah.
It almost looks like a porn movie.
Yeah. The first time I heard about it was I saw the VHS tape, the one that Ahmed just put up. I remember seeing it in like Woolworths or something. And this was like in the 80s. And then I was just like a casual fan at the time. I kind of thought it was pretty interesting that like a rock band had like their own movie, in my head, it just made me think that, God, man, these guys were friggin' huge. They had their own movie. And then it wasn't until I was in like 9th or 10th grade, I had a buddy of mine who was not even into rock or metal at all, like total hip hop dude. He told me, I was wearing a Kiss shirt one day. I was like, oh man, do you ever see their movie, Kiss Meets the Phantom in the Park? I was like, no, I never saw it, but I want to get the VHS. And he told me that it was on. He said, yeah, man, I saw that it was on TV a few months ago on Channel 6. It was like the $1 Million movie. Remember they used to do that?
Yeah.
Like on midnight?
Yeah.
It was on a Sunday night, he said. They used to do the midnight $1 Million movie at midnight on Sunday nights. And they aired it there, like in the early 90s. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, dude, I remember when they used to do all them specials thing, it used to say special in like a swirl. Yeah, I gotta find that. Yeah, I gotta see if I can put up a graphic of that. This one's gonna be great. Mike D, when was the first time you watched Kiss Meets the Phantom in the Park?
About 3 days ago. You know what? Up until like a couple of weeks ago, I thought it was a cartoon, which I wouldn't stop me from watching it either. But I just Everybody told me how bad it was for you. So.
Yeah. It's funny because that came out after the 2 comic books, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be. That's what it was supposed to be, like a movie version of the comic books.
Right. And I only remember bits and pieces of the comic books. I got one. I got the red one, and the other one I don't know what happened to it. The one with the
it's funny that you say that. I just found both of them today.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, some of my stuff that I had in storage, I found both of them.
You're probably like, oh shit, you forgot all about it, probably.
Yeah, I did. That and the dolls I found.
Nice. You got all 4?
Yeah.
Nice. I only had one. I only had the one. I had Peter Criss or something like that. That was like the only doll I had. I don't know why. That was the only one I had.
Dane was saying he had Paul, but he got rid of it.
I sold it, man. I had the box and everything still. And
wow,
stupid.
And Mike D, you were a collector of stuff. Did you ever come across them or no?
Well, my cousin was going to buy them for me, and we were in the store, and I was scared of him. And I said, nope.
That's great.
and I kicked myself in the ass for it.
Yeah, they go for some cash now, man.
I'm going to rebuy it. You know what?
You know what though? A lot of those like old Mego things, man, they were tough because like the plastic they used for them kind of fell apart. Mm-hmm. So it's like if you have like one in a really like good condition, I'm sure it's probably like worth something.
Yeah. Yep. What did you say, Damo?
I don't
you may rebuy them.
Oh yeah. I remember what I was going to say is that they pretty much like held a consistent value over the years. Like, you know, you could still buy them like for like, you know, a couple $100 each, even less, you know, depending on the condition. I've seen like all 4 you could buy like for like $1,000, but I always remember them being around that amount of money, even when I was like a teenager, you know, so it's not like back in the 80s and 90s that, you know, you see them in the comic book stores. I remember for like $150 and now they're like $1,000 each. So pretty much the same price, you know?
Yeah, dude.
So
I remember,
it's not really like an investment.
Right. It stays.
You know, it's just something. Yeah.
Something you
something
want.
Cool to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember as far as like some of that Kiss collection stuff, I remember a couple things. I remember the Kiss van. Yeah. Anybody, Ahmed, you remember the Kiss van where you put it together yourself? They gave you that crazy glue stuff and the Kiss van, which was weird. It was just why a van? I don't know. It was like I think it was like a red van.
I think it was just a big 70s thing because vans and stuff like that were big, and there was a Charlie's Angels one.
Vans.
There you go. Yeah.
And a Donnie and Marie van.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
Just that 70s, you know, kind of stuff.
And I remember having one of those plastic guitars. It was like
I had one of those.
And it had
that was my actual first guitar.
Okay, so I had the same one. You had it too, Mike?
No, I had a Donnie and Marie microphone.
You still
it was like a little like speaker with a microphone connected to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember them things. I remember the Kiss radio I had. You remember the radio?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had the radio, and I used to love. There's actually 3 things. Shrinky Dinks. Remember the Shrinky? What are Shrinky Dinks?
Color form in the oven.
Color forms.
Yes,
I still have those.
Them.
Oh my god, me too. And then what was the other thing? I might have mentioned this before in another show, and I still don't know
rub
how
and
it is.
play.
The rub thing with the stick. I hate the stick.
Yeah.
The stick thing that gives you the chills.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the rub. And I remember it was it like Dynasty?
It was a Dynasty outfits. Yep.
The rub.
What's the
it's
rub
like
thing?
You would get like this piece of paper right on a stick and rub the thing on a stick, right? Something like that, right?
Yeah.
It was like that.
They were like Shrinky Dinks, but you didn't have to put them in the oven. You kind of like did it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah. You had this fat like popsicle stick, and you would kind of like rub it out, and it would make the image on this little white area of like Paul's boot or something.
Why do I think I remember this?
It was big for a second. There was a bunch of shit out with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I had to be late. Well, you figured Dynasty was what,
79, 80.
So
there.
So between 79 and 81, they probably were pumping out. I'm sure it wasn't just Kiss. It was probably a ton of shit.
They had everything. There was Incredible Hulk ones and Spider-Man and
what
Batman
was the big deal with the Shrinky Dinks? We all loved it. I don't remember.
Those are the ones you kind of made your own action scenes or something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You put it in the oven and it either gets bigger or smaller. One of them, I don't know.
Yeah, it kind of gets hard. Like it's like a plastic.
Do they still make those?
I don't think so.
Probably not. That's too that's too generic for kids nowadays.
Do you guys remember the I remember this vividly being a kid, getting them all the time. It was bubble gum, like a record.
Yes,
Like many records.
I had the unmasked one.
The
Remember
unmasked one.
Unmasked
Yeah.
one. That was the one.
And the
that?
Judas
You pull
Priest
it out?
one.
Yeah, and it was like the pink bubble gum. It was a shape of a record.
Yeah.
What the hell were they called? I looked it up and I can't remember now.
They had all the information. Looked like the regular album. Had the information on the back. It was cool, man.
They do make shrinky dinks.
Wow, we got to look into it.
Yeah.
We have to look into it. But I forget what they were called. It was like some rock and roll. Dude, they came out so much cool shit when we were kids, man.
Yeah.
Well, I just found what that record gum was called Chum Bops.
Yeah.
Chum Bops.
That was it.
Was it?
Chew Bops.
Chew Bops.
Oh yes, I remember they had movies too. I think
Probably. I can see that.
Chew Bops.
Chew Bops.
All right.
So Damo, tell us a little bit about Kiss Meets the Fan in the Park, the story, the plot, if there is a plot.
Basically, Kiss is performing a concert at Magic Mountain theme park. You know, the theme park isn't doing too well financially. They get Kiss to bring a big crowd in, and the guy who does all the animatronics for the park, all the moving robots and stuff. You know, he doesn't like the idea there was something that Kiss is coming to the park and all that, so he wants to kind of sabotage him or whatever, and it's, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. They're bringing in Kiss to help the finances a little bit. So with them bringing in Kiss, they have to put up Kiss displays and all this stuff, and it's taken away from Abner Devereaux, the scientist guy. Yeah, Devereaux. They're taking away from his stuff, and he's like, "What are you doing?" He's talking to the guy that I always thought the character who was like the owner and the guy who ran the park. Until recently, I double checked it, and it's not him. But I always thought it was Mel from Alice with like a wig on. I swear to God, it's not him. I really thought it was him.
Yeah,
but so he talks to me saying, "Listen, we got to do this," and he's like, "But I need the money for my research. Blah 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 blah. Mad scientist bullshit," and he pretty much, has heat on him because of the money thing. They bring in Kiss, and now he's kind of pissed off, and pretty much, he's on the outs. He's gets fired, but he don't leave, which is funny. He gets fired, gets let go, and he decides that I can make robots. I'll make the bad Kiss. So
right.
In
his underground laboratory.
Yeah, beautiful laboratory.
Way underground.
Yeah. Man, what you got on Kiss Meets the Phantom?
This is probably my earliest memory of Kiss, to be totally honest with you. So it has a special place for me. I know a lot of people like to diss it, and it is corny and cheesy and all that kind of stuff. But back then, I was too young to really understand that. Today, it's comical. You just sit back and just watch it and bug out and quote lines from it, and it's funny. But it's funny to hear how everybody else hates it, especially them. But
it's funny.
The thing is, how can you be upset with that when you've got Dancing with the Stars and some of this other stuff?
Yeah, right.
You gotta consider it for what it is instead of what it's not. I mean, Hanna-Barbera did it, so that has enough to say with it. I think if they would have, it was supposed to be like a Hard Day's Night meets Star Wars. If they would have actually hooked up with George Lucas, and actually made it like that, maybe it would have been a lot cooler. But you can't really expect too much when you got Peter sounding like the dude from Knight Rider.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for what it was,
it was fun. It had the campy thing too, which I love. Listen, anything you put, even them horror movies, anything you put in with like a carnival and the freak show stuff and the robot, I love all that nonsense. So plus it was Kiss, so I was sucked in. Story, I mean, if you think about it, Kiss didn't do really much in that movie.
No,
really
not really, dude. They just
they didn't help. They didn't help the girl. They just were kind of
they babysat her a little bit.
Yeah.
Sung a little lullaby to her.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, I dug it. It is what it is. Hey, Kiss is in a movie. It was fun. It's campy. It's silly. It's corny. It's got some great one-liners. My favorite one-liner is Chopper, don't hurt anybody unless he wants to. Whatever the line is, something like that. Chopper, whatever the guy's name was, Swine or whatever his name, Swing, Sneed, whatever his name was.
Mr. Sneed.
Don't ask me why, but I for some reason I was waiting for Kiss to break out into like Beauty School Dropout and sing it to that girl. I don't know why, but
I could see Paul
78. Grease
My,
came out in 78.
Yeah.
right.
My favorite line was
Star Child. The Star Child was good too. So Dane, what was your thoughts on the movie in general?
Yeah, it was just it's a fun campy movie. I remember like seeing me and my buddies were watching it, when we were like, I don't know, 14, 13 or whatever. We finally got the VHS and this is like way later, like in the very early 90s and stuff when we got it, because we always heard about the movie and everything. But it was pretty cool seeing the they're playing Rock and Roll Night in the intro with the credits and everything. And then it's just the story was weird. They're barely really in it. I thought the concert stuff was really cool because you never really
Best
saw
part
anything
of it.
shot,
Yeah.
from like, a lot of the stuff was like shot on the stage and everything. It was like, because all the Kiss bootlegs you see are all like, they're like pro shot stuff, but it's kind of like from the audience perspective, it's like really kind of felt like you're on the stage in a way. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's not Gone with the Wind over here. It's just a fun movie,
Yeah, absolutely. Mike D, now you recently seen it, so what was your take?
Right. Look, I think it was. I mean, it was bad, but I mean, I think everybody made it a little bit worse than it actually was, because I thought it was like fun bad. Like
That's
really,
coming from Mike.
Right.
well, yeah, I'm a fan of bad movies, so I like all that like Mystery Science Theater stuff, all the riff tracks. I love that stuff. So but I don't know. I mean, you taking it as a time. I mean, I've seen worse. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But the one thing I was kind of upset with was I think it needed just a little more Chopper, Slime, and Dirty D.
I think so.
So-
I agree. I enjoyed them characters.
They exited a little too quick.
I enjoyed them characters. I did. I really did. Another scene that's great is when I guess the bad gene comes out, and of course I rather watch the Attack of the Phantoms version.
No,
I'd rather have that version. Yeah.
No. I was upset with that. I'm just like, man, it's all weird. It's all chopped up weird and everything. And
So wait,
the
is that the
only
one we
thing-
watched?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it is
So you didn't give me like. Okay, so I didn't watch the real one.
Well, it ain't too
It's
much.
close
different.
enough. It's close enough. You'd have to really know to know that it was different. I mean, they used the solo album songs in the movie instead of the 70s
Hanna-Barbara
style.
thingy.
Yeah.
I would have rather heard that though.
What are
because
the
I think
other
that adds to a
differences?
cheese factor of it, and hearing the actual score of it instead of the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I'll search it out, see if I can find it.
Dan, what was you gonna say?
What were the other differences? You guys remember between the two?
There's some scenes are out of sync and some they added a little bit. I know there's a little extra in the fight scenes, especially when they're fighting the sumo wrestlers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Ace does this crazy kick to the stomach and the dude goes flying back in the Attack of the Phantoms version. I remember that. Just little stuff like that.
So their superpowers. I mean, what were the superpowers? Paul, I guess, could know what the hell you're thinking, and he's got the beam out of his eye, right? I mean, that was his superpower.
Yeah.
Gene,
He was nosy.
He was nosy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gene's superpower was what? He breathed fire.
Yeah, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, they did that pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then you had Ace he can make himself disappear, which was kind of cool. I felt
He
like.
could teleport and have
Teleport.
lightning coming out of his fingers.
And what
stuff
did Peter
like that.
Criss do? Levitate.
He could
stuff
just
or
jump
something?
and shit like that.
Yeah,
like
he
a
kind
cat.
of like he's the cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had
Kung Fu.
yeah, like, dude, how bad was it watching the fight scenes with the doubles in it? I mean, it was so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, it's crazy. If you look at the fake Paul's boot, it's actually a sneaker.
Is it really?
Wow.
Yeah. If you look real close at it, you could tell like one of his boots are fake. He doesn't even have actual platforms on.
Oh shit! I never even
That's
noticed
hilarious.
that. I got to go back and watch it.
You
Oh,
can't
yeah,
do
me
it.
and my
You
friend,
can't
we
do a
used to
kick in them things.
Yeah.
pick it apart like crazy. After we've seen it 5 million times. We just look for little stuff to just, pick about.
Yeah,
That's funny. I never noticed that.
and Peter's voice isn't Peter. We know that.
Right. That's when they were going through all that crazy stuff where Ace and Peter didn't want nothing to do with anything. And they said, I don't know how true it was, but I always heard that that Ace, when they had a meeting with the directors and all that stuff and the film crew, that he didn't say nothing. He didn't want to be bothered, so he would just like make noises, and that's what they used in the movie.
That's great.
Yeah, and they're just like, well, we thought that's what you wanted to say, so we put that in the movie.
And then he was.
But that was the band breaking up right there.
Oh yeah,
that was the whole thing that put the solo albums in motion, because they're just like, man, you got us doing this corny ass movie. I don't feel like doing this shit. I'm ready to go solo.
Yeah.
So yeah, this movie actually put all of that in play.
Yeah.
It was fun for a Kiss fan, but maybe not so much fun for being in Kiss.
Well, I don't know about that, because back in the day, a lot of hardcore Kiss fans didn't like it at all. Even back then, they were just like, man, because right at that time, you got AC/DC and Van Halen about to break out, and then they're doing this Hanna-Barbera shit.
Yeah. I guess it didn't bother me because I was still kind of young, so it didn't bother me.
Same here.
Yeah.
I was too young to care.
But then, like you said, that's true. They lost some fans, but look on the flip side. It's almost like I kind of look at it like, them opening up to like a really young fan base.
Which killed them.
But it killed them, yeah. But it's almost
expanded
like
their fan base too. Look at Austin, still love them.
In the future, it did. It's like putting like $100 in the bank, and then like 10, 15 years later, it's like, like 1,000. Like it grows or whatever. Like, so like when they did the reunion tour, those fans that were 4 or 5 years old, they wanted to go back and see them. And plus, you had the fans from before that kind of gave up on them. You had them in there too. So
and then by 96, you had everybody.
Right.
And then you had a new generation of fans there. Yeah. They had even new generation. So this is a band that still has new fans after how many decades have they been doing this for? 4 or 5 decades, something like that.
Well, they started slowly declining after that, because right after that they did Dynasty, and that was the disco thing. And then they're like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Yeah. So that album was supposed to bring them together, and then they did that, and then
it wasn't that big, but
for that's what I think. I got Dynasty for my 5th birthday, so that's a soft spot again.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites, I think.
Me too.
But then back in 1979, like I said, Van Halen was on Van Halen 2 in 1979.
Well, if you were like an 18-year-old kid, 17-year-old kid, then you're going to think differently.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And all they really had then were, the kids and stuff like me. And then they did another watered down album with Unmasked, and they just kept going off the deep end to the point where it's just like,
But I think sometimes I think if you're a band that stays around that long, you're going to have, it's like anything, like wrestling. Wrestling's hot, and then it's a decline. Then it's hot, then it's so you're going to have that. If everything stays bang, bang, bang the whole time, it's not special no more. Like even like if you look at the Metallica stuff, where the diehard Metallica fans like, oh man, the Black Album. Well, it's the same thing with the Kiss deal to an extent, is that they might have lost some hardcore thrash guys, but man, they gained tenfold.
But at that moment,
they definitely did.
It's not like it. Yeah, but at that moment, you're not, in hindsight. Yeah. But like in the moment, it's like, what the fuck is this shit?
Oh, absolutely.
What's this new band? Judas Priest? Oh, this new band, Van Halen. This new band, AC/DC. Fuck yes.
Yeah.
They had a good run though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But you need that to wipe out, like kind of like the grunge thing happened. It was getting so watered down, and everybody was doing the same thing.
It's like a fresh palette.
Exactly. And then you can go back to that. They actually, you enjoy a lot of that stuff now going back to it, because you heard something different. It broke it up a little bit, You have to wipe away stuff.
The grunge thing went on just too long though, too.
Yeah, it wasn't around that long.
Not really.
I think I'm going to say about 20 years.
Nah.
No. I think we felt the effects for about 20 years.
I mean, there's bands that still have the
effects, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I see what you're saying. Yeah. But,
right.
I mean, technically, it lasted maybe 3-4 years. But I see what you're saying.
Right. But we were still feeling it, bands like Bush after that. And
well,
of course, Foo Fighters. But that was
I agree
Nirvana,
with that.
But, you still get.
It killed the image of the image of the rock star, the image
Right.
in general. Like, before you would always have like over the top rock stars. After that, you don't even see that anymore. Once in a while,
Guys in ripped jeans and t-shirts.
Yeah, just normal,
Yeah. I mean, and that's where it takes away it was getting so muddy that something had to happen. But then after that, then everybody became so plain Jane. Nobody looked special.
And that's what I liked and didn't like about it.
Yeah, I think all of us.
I thought it was cool because, it kind of had that old school punk element to it. But it kind of started to fall off musically for me after a while. I mean, it was cool to be completely stripped down because I remember when Nevermind came out and all that. I got a copy of that, and Soundgarden gave it some hope, but then Temple of the Dog, and then here comes Pearl Jam, and I didn't live long in that.
Everybody was doing that thing.
Alice in Chains and Nirvana was probably my favorite part, and Soundgarden was probably my favorite part about that whole grunge era.
I think all of us. I'd probably say that.
Pumpkins. Right? I like the Pumpkins were good.
And the Pumpkins.
Honestly, I didn't really start to like kind of appreciate it until maybe like 10 years ago. At that time, I fucking hated it.
You always liked the Alice, though, right? I think you always liked the Alice in Chains.
Later on, yeah. I mean, but not even that much later. I think like in the late 90s, I kind of warmed up to them a lot, and Soundgarden. But man, all the other ones, I fucking hated them. Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't get them either. It was all that. It all really. Well, I guess anything gets cookie cut. It sounds the same, but
it was just like I didn't grow up with that. Like rock stars were like Robert Plant and Steven Tyler, and
they're bigger than life.
Stanley and David Lee Roth, and now you got these guys that like in
the
90s,
table of fire.
Dude, that's not a rock star, It's like fucking Neil Young and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, go
right,
home.
Right. It was almost like folk music with Black Sabbath riffs.
Yeah, right.
Jump up,
yeah,
But but it's funny because even though and I hate putting labels on shit with anything, it's either good or bad, but you do. I find myself labeling shit too, but it's like if you strip it down, to me, it's still hard rock and metal somewhere on most of the stuff. Like Alice in Chains to me is a metal band. They're a metal band.
Absolutely.
Soundgarden, I considered a metal band way before the grunge thing came in, in popular culture or whatever, But I don't even consider them part of that. I don't know. It's weird. It's like I think Soundgarden was out before all that, and Alice in Chains.
It was all brewing at the same time,
right?
Like
late
80s,
right?
Early 90s. That's when all that stuff was coming in.
Like, now, where do you put a band like Jane's Addiction? I always see them on Headbangers Ball.
They were right before that.
And they were in California.
Like, what's that?
They were an LA band.
I don't know what you consider them really. I mean, they were kind of like an art rock band, if anything.
Yeah.
I love
call
Jane's
them
Addiction.
alternative. I consider them alternative. They were like early alternative because
I put them.
Nothing Shocking came out in 88.
Yeah, they're almost like in the same
87, 88.
In the same world as like Red Hot Chili Peppers, even though they were like almost like funkier, but it's like the sort of like kind of in the same.
It was a change. It was an alternative. To me, there was always metal splashes, even with the Peppers, and there was still metal splashes in there somewhere. But it's funny because being hard rock fans, we still probably bought the Chili records. We probably still bought the the Soundgarden stuff. We probably still bought the Jane's Addiction stuff. Like, they played Jane's Addiction on Headbangers Ball.
That's when it started to get weird, though.
Yeah.
Like, no, seriously. Like, when all that stuff started to come in, that's when the Headbangers Ball started to go on its way out.
Yeah.
I did like it then. I used to watch it like throughout the 90s up until the end, religiously every Saturday night. I'd be out with my buddies, my prime teenage years. Oh, sorry guys, I gotta go home and watch Headbangers Ball.
Yeah.
It came on what, like 12 to like 2 or something like that.
11:30 to 2. I still have VHS tapes of old S.
Oh man,
because from like I think maybe even 11 or 11:30, because they would do like the top 10 videos, heavy metal videos, and then like midnight was like the straight Headbangers Ball show. Yeah, I think they did like the countdown for like a brief period of time. But
dude, it's funny, I always watch Headbangers Ball, but one time we were at, like, one of my favorite moments of watching Headbangers Ball was we were at one of my buddy's house for a party or something, And, not thinking nothing of it. It's not like you had the internet back then. You had Metal Edge, which was months behind, or whatever. So, I remember Headbangers Ball being in the background. And I remember hearing the opening riff to Unholy, not knowing what it was. I looked at the thing. I'm like, oh, my God, it's Kiss. Listen to this song. Telling everybody, check out Kiss. Check out Kiss. Listen to this song. You know what I mean? Because I'm excited because it was like,
Yeah, it was, that once I saw that, I was always like into them, but that is like really what they're like my number one from that point on. Like that's what really, and I was like super into Pantera then too. And the Mouth for War video, the director who did the Unholy
great video.
It's got the same kind of vibe almost,
Great. I mean, and even like we're talking about wiping, I know we're talking about the Fan of the Park movie, but wiping away the slate. Kiss kind of wiped away the slate there. And, I don't know what you would consider. It was just Kiss to me, but a little heavier maybe. But it was great.
Yeah,
they always have like a 10-year gap where they
reinvent
come
themselves
back.
Yeah, I think I remember at that time being kind of like disappointed that album wasn't bigger.
It should have been huge.
It should.
Pantera was big then.
Yeah.
See,
they're one of the few that survived that whole change.
Yeah,
But you know what? At that time, you were starting to see the tribute albums and stuff, and they were getting like respected from like younger artists,
right?
Like,
artists that were our age, probably.
Yeah, that were happening at the time. Like all the Seattle bands were mentioning them. You weren't getting the Poisons and stuff like that. So like they were getting like the hip bands into them, right? Yeah. That's why I thought like, man, the album's got to be bigger than what it is. I go see them at the Spectrum. It's like 5,000 people at the Spectrum.
I remember that show. There was nobody there. It was like Creatures of the Night tour all over.
It was pretty bleak. And that was my first time seeing them, but I thought that was probably one of my best times ever seeing them too,
Yeah. I love that tour. Dude, that tour was great.
Yeah. That's the craziest thing.
And the tour before that was amazing.
Yeah,
that was my first.
Unbelievable. That set list was great. That set list was great.
Yeah.
Did you see that tour?
No, I saw them the year after was my first one, but I wish I would have saw that one, man.
Unbelievable. Ahmed, you've seen that, I'm sure, right?
What, Revenge?
Hot and Shade tour.
Yeah, that was my first show.
Amazing, right? Yeah.
Opening up with I Stole Your Love in the Deuce.
Dude, that's like my favorite opener with them.
Yeah, that was like the best 1-2 punch. I'm like, blowing my mind.
Dude, they 15. Came when they all stood up and they had the Sphinx behind them. I was like,
Yeah. I wish I would go back to that.
Yeah,
that opener. I was
oh man, and thank God I went because I couldn't go to the Crazy Nights tour because I got a happy slip in the mail from school. My mom wouldn't let me go and shit. Do you remember them things?
No.
They were like little pink slips that your son's fucking up in science class or whatever. He's got an F or whatever. Yeah, they would send those little slips home saying about.
I had a good collection of them back in the day.
You had some happy slips, Mike. That's great.
Yeah, I got one.
We didn't call them happy slips though.
Yeah, they're not happy slips. That's the funny thing. That's just
awesome.
What they call them. But I wasn't allowed to go because I got one, and I was pissed off because on the Crazy Nights tour, Eric Carr did a drum solo.
Yeah,
and I missed it. So I was hoping that he would do one on the Hot and Shade tour, and he didn't. So
he didn't do it on that day. Yeah.
He did one of the Crazy Nights. I went to the Crazy Nights one. Was in Philly. It was in Philly. In Philly, I watched Crazy Nights in Philly, and it was near Christmas time because they did the Christmas song at the end.
White Christmas.
I went to that. It was great. Ted Nugent opened up.
Yeah, I heard he didn't do anything but scream really all night.
Yeah, it wasn't. I'm not a big Nugent. I like a couple songs, but I'm not really a big Nugent.
That's a weird choice of an opener for that time.
Yeah, really.
In some places, Anthrax opened up.
I wish I would have seen that.
Yeah, that would have been far better than Ted Nugent.
Oh
yeah.
All right. So going back to Phantom of the Park, how about I kind of love the idea of the talisman. I like the idea with the icons.
That was cool, man.
I thought it was cool. I'm surprised they didn't do nothing with that.
It goes in with that cheese though.
It's a cult thing now.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool, but they probably look at that and it's like, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
So is it talisman or is it talisman? I don't know. They were saying it
Talisman.
Yeah.
The one part somebody goes the talisman. I'm like the talisman.
Yeah. Depending on who says it.
Yeah.
It could be different.
It's a cosmic force field that
Ace's
protects our talisman.
Ace's backup band, they're called the Talisman.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. That band's ridiculously good.
Yeah, they're fans, so of course.
Yeah. Yep.
And without them, no powers.
That's right.
Ordinary human beings.
Not so ordinary. Not quite ordinary. Is that the line? Not quite ordinary. Was that the line?
Not quite ordinary.
Not quite ordinary.
So to wrap up the Phantom of the Park, cheesy, man. But guess what? I still enjoy it. Ahmed?
Love it. I don't care. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It's a damn 10. Matter of fact, it's 11. Fuck that.
Follow that up, Damo.
Yeah, it's a fun, campy movie.
Get a big fat bowl and some popcorn, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Mike D's gonna come over. Mike D's on his way right
come
now.
over, man. We'll quote the whole movie all
camping
night.
out.
We all got to get together one night.
Yo, we will do that whole line for line.
I'll be drinking my pineapple juice while you guys have fun.
Pineapple juice.
Beethoven's Fifth all night.
Yeah.
Mike D, what was your take on it?
Yeah, man. I gotta find the original one now. Watch it because I want to hear all the cheesy music along with it.
Yeah.
Because I think that will make it even better.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
I got a VHS player, so we can bust out the. You know what I'm saying?
I may have transferred that onto DVD at one point. I got to dig that up in my storage unit. I know I still got the VHS somewhere.
It was nice to see a clean copy of it, though.
That's not out on DVD. I take it.
No, they won't even
Not
redo
that
it.
version.
No. But it's definitely it's still a big cult movie.
Yeah.
Definitely. And everybody still enjoys it. And to wrap up on this, I thought the villain was good. I liked Devereaux. I liked the villain.
Yeah. I wish you hit the Phantom of the Park. I thought it was gonna be like a friggin' monster or something.
It was kind
It's
of
like some old dude,
Yeah. That was the only bad part about it. I thought they would at least got a guy who looked like the dude on the comic book. With the bald head and the Fu Manchu type of thing.
Yeah.
That's who I was expecting.
Yeah, something like that, or
what was the deal with the ending? Like
no one understands it.
Where they turn him around and he just looks like
he's all.
But he was alive though. He didn't die.
No, he
they
frozen some time, quick, like fast forward or something.
But they showed you him walking. I thought that was him like leaving the park or something.
See, that's one of the scenes that's all messed up. That's originally earlier in the movie when it's saying kiss tonight when they play the park for the first time. That's not the real ending of the movie. So that's the goofy part about the Phantoms.
Yeah, it says
that's not.
They confront Devereaux in his underground laboratory only to discover that he has frozen in a catatonic state, seemingly revealing himself as the namesake Phantom of the Park.
And he's all old looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his hair grew or something.
He looks like Emmett Brown from Back to the Future.
But that was a confusing part because after they showed that's when they showed you the scene of him like kind of like almost like dancing away or whatever.
Weird.
Yeah.
I looked up the character, the actor, Anthony Zerbe. He was in The Matrix, it said. The Matrix Reloaded.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't even know if I remember him in that.
A couple people in that movie went on to do other stuff.
Dude's still alive.
Wow, he's pretty damn old. 85.
Yeah, Mike, who was the guy you were talking about the other night? That was
Brian James.
Was that the guy who played the cop, right?
He was one of the guards,
or not Beverly Hills Cop. 48 Hours.
He was in a lot of things. This guy, he was in Blade Runner. He was in Fifth Element, Tango and Cash. Yeah,
he was in. He's been around for a while.
Yeah, I think he passed about 20 years ago. But he was in a lot of movies back in the day.
And Calvin, the guy, the owner of the park, he was in The Money Pit with Tom Hanks.
Huh. You got to look like Mel from Ellis, that guy.
Yeah. Oh, and real quick, I talked to Matt Porter about doing the annual Kiss Meets the Phantom at the Colonial in Phoenixville to get an annual showing of it. So he's way into it. So come next year, we might have an annual showing of it. We'll see. Got to talk to Colonial about it, but I'm trying to make that happen.
That's cool. And it's Matt Porter, who also does Monaco Radio.
Monaco.
Yeah.
Monco
yeah.
Radio.
Shout out to Matt Porter, huge Kiss fan.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Matt, in that circle, in that Kiss fan circle. Okay, before we wrap up here on the Kiss Meets the Fandom part of the show, man, let's see that t-shirt you're wearing, man. I'll check that out.
It's my Ace solo album airbrush t-shirt.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Ace, really?
That's a great job on that one.
Yeah, it was great, man. All right, guys, we're going to move on to the next section. All right, guys, 10 stupid questions, the Halloween edition. All right, Ahmed, I'm going to start with you first. If you had a chance, would you rather be a vampire or a werewolf?
Vampire.
But why?
I just like vampires more. I don't want to go through the whole metamorphosis of changing into a werewolf. It looks painful.
It does.
And most vampires have eternal life, so
There you go.
I'm into that.
Damo, how about you?
And yeah, I like the idea of being a werewolf because I'm into wolves and shit like that. But yeah, like Ahmed said, that whole metamorphosis part looks like it's a fucking bitch, man. Like I don't want to go through that.
If it wasn't like that, I would probably pick werewolf.
I thought
Right,
I thought Damon's definitely the vampire of the bunch. He looks the same,
Well, I'm going with the vampire.
Yeah,
The vamp life.
Vampire. Mike D.
Well, I'm already a werewolf, so I'm going to go vampire.
There you go.
That whole live forever. Why
Yeah. I want to go with the vampire thing too, just because you could freeze time. You look like the way you look when it happens.
Yep.
So if I could do it
Jeez,
before I get
can we go
older-
back a little bit? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'd go back 10 years. I'll be right with that. Yeah, we all picked the vampires. Nice.
It's the night of the vampire.
Yeah. Ahmed, would you rather walk through a grave? Yeah, I can't even say it. Ahmed, would you rather walk through a graveyard at midnight or spend the night in an abandoned house?
I'll do the graveyard at night.
You're going for the
Thriller all
graveyard.
day. Yeah, I'll bring my boombox. We'll be Thriller all night.
Damo,
Yeah, I'll do the graveyard. I think it's kind of cool.
Mikey D.
Well, I kind of lived across from a graveyard, so I guess I kind of did that already. I'd probably do the haunted house, which I've never done.
Shit.
Nah.
You hear little noises. I'm like, is that gremlins or is that a ghost?
Some damn ghoulies. The ghoulies are here.
Critters.
The critters. Yeah.
I used to love that movie, by the way.
That movie, yeah, man. I think I would do the graveyard because I could probably get out of it quicker than the friggin' haunted house. You know what I mean? The haunted house, you're stuck a little bit. I don't want to be stuck.
Well, you might get stuck in the graveyard. You never know.
I guess that could happen. That could happen. Ahmed, would you rather be covered in spiders or snakes?
Spiders. I'm not scared of spiders at all. I'm not afraid of snakes unless it's a whole bunch of them, like that scene in Cobra Kai when he's in the snake pit and they're looking down. Nope. Spiders all day.
Yeah.
Damo.
I'm a big fan of spiders. I like spiders. So yeah, definitely spider. I like snakes too. But yeah, I definitely go with spiders. I got no problems with them.
Mike D.
I don't know, man. It depends what kind of snakes you got, because if they're not like venomous snakes or ones that's going to squeeze the shit out of you, I'll go with the snakes.
Yeah.
Spiders, man. If you get enough spider bites, you'll die.
Yeah. Well, yeah, either
They'll-
way, yeah.
They got
Snakes
poison.
too.
Yeah. So I'd probably go with the snakes.
I think I'd go with the spiders. I'd probably go with the spiders. The snakes, I don't know. The snakes got more strength than the spider. I mean, the spider bite could be bad too, but I think if a snake grabs you,
Snake bite.
yeah, and a snake bite, yeah. Fuck that. I'm going with the spiders. Yeah,
Depends what kind of snake, though. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Trouser snake. The trouser snake.
I'm going with the spiders.
You changed your mind, eh?
It'll be like it'll turn into that.
That's right. We've seen that movie now. The hiss. That's great, man. Ahmed, Would you rather carve 20 pumpkins or eat 10 bags of candy corn?
I'm carving pumpkins.
You're not doing the candy corn?
Nah, I mean, I like candy corn, but not enough to. Nah, I'll be sick at the end of it. Nah, I'm carving pumpkins.
Damo.
Yeah, I'll do the pumpkins too. I had a good time doing it with my nephew a couple weeks ago. We made Ghostface
Nice.
pumpkin. Came out pretty good.
Very cool. Very cool.
It is a lot of work though, man. I mean, you gotta have the right.
It's harder
tools.
than it looks, I bet.
We were using just like a regular knife, man. It's a workout. And then you gotta scoop all the shit out. But
is it
I
tough
love
breaking
pumpkin seeds.
through? Is it like thick?
No, it's not that bad breaking through, but you know, if you want to do something intricate, it's a little, you know, you gotta go around. But you know, they sell the shit at Walmart now, where it's a little bit easier. But that stuff too is kind of chintzy. So
is it like a stencil? Like I guess you can put a stencil on it. Is that how they do it?
How I did it is I made a stencil. I drew it out on paper. I cut it out. I placed it on a pumpkin, and I just cut around it.
Nice.
It came out really good. I was pretty impressed.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Mike Day.
I'm not eating one candy corn.
You'd rather put the work in.
Absolutely. Is
I
that like the
candy
Squid Game
corn.
thing? You have to make 10 pumpkins and
Yeah. I like candy corn, but 10 bags is a bit rough. The pumpkin thing, even though I'd probably be horrible at it, that seems like fun. I never ever did that.
But that's the thing. If you have a bunch of them and you mess up, well, I got another one.
Right. Right.
Starting over.
Yeah. I just pay
It's fun.
somebody to do like, look what I did, you know. Yeah, that's I never carved a pumpkin in my life. You said you didn't either, Mike?
Never.
How about you, Ahmed? You ever try
What's that?
carving a pumpkin? You ever done it?
I do it every year.
Oh, cool.
You guys haven't lived.
Nah, I gotta try it now. I definitely gotta try it.
Make a kiss pumpkin.
I've done it.
I was gonna say,
yeah. I've done
it. All right, Ahmed. Who is scarier to you, Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees?
Freddy. Anybody can get you in your sleep. You're powerless. You're done. You know, Freddy just kind of, or Jason just seemed like a bootleg Michael Myers to me. So.
How about you, Damo?
Yeah, definitely Freddy, because I used to have nightmares of when I was a little kid. But you know what? The Jason before the hockey mask I thought was pretty scary when he had
with the bag on his head.
Yeah.
That was scarier than the mask. I thought that was the best Jason, I thought.
Yeah,
that was.
Yeah, that
like
was,
the first two were actually kind of scary, like happened.
Definitely. Mike D.
I don't know, man. I mean, you could. I think I could get away from Jason. Freddy? No, I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah,
I
He
think
gets in
Freddy.
your head and finds out what you're really scared of, and done.
Yeah,
Jason don't know.
I don't know. I think I'm going to go with Jason because I don't think I'm going to outrun the motherfucker. I think he's going to get me.
Yeah, but you got first off, you have to end up in camp.
And I don't go nowhere, so
I've been at camp before.
Hey, listen, Damien told me that he was thinking about getting like a camper or something like that in the mountains, right? I'll be going to visit Dame. I'll be like, yo, Dame, turn the lights on. Leave the lights on, Dame. Leave all the lights on. Can you imagine? Dude, one time we went up to the Poconos when I was younger, because I'm paranoid anyway, and I wouldn't go to sleep. Everybody's like, why ain't you going to sleep? I'm like, I'm staying up. I don't trust the motherfucking thing. You know what I mean? It's all dark out there. Yeah. And they were like, you didn't sleep. You slept during the day. I'm like, because I ain't sleeping at night.
Yep.
You know?
Keep all the floodlights on.
Exactly.
Everything.
I'm that guy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I think Freddy, if he's in my head and in my dreams, I'm sleeping. Fuck it. But Jason actually feels like it's a little real to me. So I'm gonna go with Jason. I think Jason's a little scarier. Okay, this is a good one here, Ahmed. Would you rather be stuck in a haunted house where you can't get out of, or a corn maze you can't get out
of? Corn maze.
You rather be stuck in a corn maze?
Yeah, because at least. Okay, is the corn maze? Is it at day or is it night?
We'll go night. Definitely go night.
Oh man.
That changes everything.
Yeah.
think you're fucked either way.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna do the corn maze.
You rather do the corn maze.
Yeah, I'm outside. At least it feels like, even if I'm pretending in my mind that I'm getting away, I'm moving forward. In a house, I could just circle that bitch all night long and I'm just be stuck there. So I don't like to feel like I'm trapped behind doors. So I'm just gonna go with the corn maze.
Damo,
I'm going with the house.
rather be stuck in the house.
Yeah.
Mikey D.
I don't know. I mean, I picked the house over the graveyard before, so I don't know. I mean, shit, it could rain. You got at least a roof over your head. I'll take the house.
I'm going to pick the house too because I'm bad with direction. I'll get lost in that corn maze. Definitely, I ain't getting out. I ain't finding my way out.
Plus, you need a toilet.
Yeah, I need to get shit outside. I got the corn to wipe my ass with. Yeah. The corn maze would be rough for me. I don't think I think I'd freak out before. At least the house, I'll eventually fall asleep. Maybe the corn maze, I ain't falling asleep. I'll be screaming, somebody get me out of here. That'd be bad. Ahmed, Addams Family or the Monsters?
Monsters. Yeah, I love Grandpa. He was the coolest one. Every time he would light something on fire and just make his effects in the basement, he was all happy about it. That was awesome.
Dane?
Yeah, I was always a Monsters guy myself, man. They were just awesome, man. I love the Monsters. Spot. The dragon.
Oh my God, I forgot about Spot.
Remember from the
Under the Stairs? Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about
They
that.
had the better theme song too.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Mike D?
The Monsters? I don't know. The
Yeah.
theme song, I might go with the Addams Family. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're
I like
both
the
good.
Monsters.
I like the Monsters, though. I'm going with the Monsters. But theme-wise, I don't know. The song, I might go with the Addams Family. It had that little catch to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
The little surf rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough.
You make it all like
that was cool.
I'm going to go with the Monsters. I love the Monsters. The Addams Family was okay. The Monsters, I love. I'd watch that all day.
Oh, yeah. I could still watch the Monsters.
I love it.
I hope Rob Zombie does it some justice.
Me too.
I was very curious to see who came first.
That's a good question. I would
Yeah.
say the
Came out
Monsters.
first.
Somebody needs to look that up.
I'm
because
looking it
that
up
is a big
now. I'm
question.
on it.
You're on it.
I
Okay.
think the Monsters were first, though.
I think so too.
And they were only like 2
wow.
seasons, I think, too.
It wasn't many.
Okay. Addams Family, right?
Mhm.
Premiered September 18th, 1964.
Wow.
Okay. The Monsters. September 18th, 64. The Monsters was also in 64.
Really?
Okay,
What
September- oh shit. They beat them by a week.
No.
Addams
That's crazy.
Family. Addams Family came out a week before the Monsters.
Dude, somebody had to know something. Somebody was making
yeah.
something.
Same
Something's
year.
going on.
Dude,
That
that's
is pretty
wild.
weird.
So Addams Family came out September 18th, 64. Monsters was September 24th, 64.
Wow. I would have
Man,
thought they were
that's
both
wild.
in the 70s for some reason.
Well, the Monsters were black and white when they started.
They're both
Yeah.
black and white. Yeah.
both.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, that's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah, that I didn't know. Wow, that's a
There's
week
got,
before.
you know what? I'm going to get more into this. There's got to be some history, and they both lasted 2 years.
It seems,
That's it.
I guess, because all the
That's it,
reruns, it seemed
both
like we
of them.
watched them forever. It seemed like they had way more than them.
Yeah,
But
it is.
isn't that crazy?
Yeah, but-
they both started around the same time and both ended at the same time. That's
They had
wild.
like 72 episodes. It was like, you had a year worth of shows back then. You had a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't like now where it was like 12 episodes. Okay, so
Mhm.
the Addams Family, first season, 34 episodes. Season 2 was 30 episodes.
64.
So, so 64 altogether. The
That's
Monsters-
a good bit of episodes there.
yeah.
yeah. And the Monsters was 38 and 32. So
Close.
70.
Yeah.
A
Wow.
couple more.
Yeah, you figure
Okay.
now if they did 12 episodes, that's what they do now pretty much between 10 and
Mhm.
12.
Yeah.
Actually, between 8 and 12 with some of these things.
Mhm.
So yeah, so that was, if you broke it down the now seasons, it's like 4 or 5
5,
seasons.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, Ahmed, caramel apples or candy apples?
Candy apples. Candy apples with the nuts on them.
Wow, that's my wife likes candy apples, but wow, that's tough. That's
Definitely
tough.
Yeah.
Damo?
I'm good with either one of them, man. I would, my first choice would be the caramel apples.
Yeah, Mike D.
Yeah, caramel apple. I'm not big on the candy one.
I'm gonna go with the caramel apple. It's not that I don't like the candy apple, it's just a lot of friggin' work.
Yes.
You know?
Both of them are though. Yeah, but the caramel's a little bit easier, I think.
Well, dude, my wife will be like, I can't believe she eats it. Like she gets at least one a year. She'll go down the store, she'll get one like a year. And she eats it. I'm like, how can you eat that? It looks like it hurts. She's like, oh, I like when it cuts my teeth. I'm like, or it cuts my gum. Oh, fucking nuts are you? Crazy. It's a lot of work on, man. It's a lot.
But your stick has to be in there really good, because if you get one and it's slipped through
Breaks
and
off.
all that shit, it's fucked up.
That shit's. I mean, it's pretty thick. That candy's thick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do they use? What do they use when they dip it? What actually is that?
That's a good question. That's a real good question. I don't even know. It's good. It's like
it's probably just like sugar.
Like a taffy.
Yeah, that's what it tastes like.
Yeah.
Like red coated sugar.
Like I remember, I'm sure they still sell the kits, but I remember we were young near Halloween and stuff. We buy the kit. Remember the kit with the candy apple kit?
Yeah, they still sell.
It didn't taste the same though. It was different for some reason.
The carnival stuff and all that stuff was the best. That was the best stuff.
Right.
Ahmed, first scary movie you remember seeing?
Halloween.
That was your very first, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
On HBO when it first premiered way back in the day.
Wow. And that's been your favorite ever since. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. How about you, Damo?
Man, there was this one I remember. I think it was a movie called The Beast Within.
Oh, yeah.
I only remember I never watched it in my adult life, so it could have been some other movie, but I just remember like some guy just kind of like transforming into something that's scaring the shit out of me. But it was either that or it was The Howling, I think.
Oh wow, yeah, I haven't seen
that. Was a good one. That's like in my top 3 favorite werewolf movies.
Yeah, that was good.
And HBO, I think, played the shit out of that, or one of those movie channels played the shit out of it. Yeah,
yeah.
Yep. Mike D, what's your first one you can remember?
I'd probably say Poltergeist.
Could have been that one too for me.
Yeah,
they're all around the same time, I think.
Yeah, I think
where that dude's pulling his face apart.
Back then, it was scary as hell.
Yeah, but now watch it now.
Yeah,
I think for me, the one I remember probably being my first one was Omen 2 for some reason. That's the one that I remember watching as a kid and being scared. That kid scared the shit out of me. I seen Omen 2 before I seen Omen 1. So it's probably Omen 2 for me. All right, guys, now be careful with this answer. This is the last question. The Craft. Have we all seen the movie The Craft?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one chick, who would it be? You got Robin Tooney, Fairuza Balk, Nev Campbell, and Rachel True. Who would you pick, Ahmed?
Okay, well, I just saw all 4 of them at Monster Mania probably about 2 years ago, and I know what they look like now.
I don't even.
So
you're
going with how they aged.
Yeah. Rachel True.
She looks pretty good still. Yeah.
The rest of them, Nev Campbell looks like a soccer mom.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought Fairuza looks all right.
A little skinny.
Now?
Yeah.
Go look it up.
I just saw a picture of her now on something.
She looks
all right.
She's really thin right now.
Yeah.
Huh.
Damo, what you thinking?
I had to look them up, see what they look like back then. I'm gonna go with Rachel too.
Mikey D.
I had a thing for Scary Spice back in the day.
I'm not going by now. I'm going by then. I would have picked Nev Campbell.
You would have picked Nev Campbell?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She had her own thing. For me, I'm going to go with the crazy one. I'm going with Fairuza Balk.
I'm trying to see what she looks like now.
Back then, I would say that. Back then, I would say that.
She looked like she beat you in the head with something, though. You know what I mean?
Stabbed you while you're sleeping.
Yeah, she'd be rough.